Hey guys, I just wanted to show you guys a one of the weirder techniques that I do when I'm working on my comic series Binary Star. Um, so this particular scene here, as you can see, this is like these are like snow aliens that live on this frosty ice world. And so I like things on their planet to look as um, snowy and frosty as possible. So a technique I developed is I start with my handy dandy white deleter ink. I've talked about this before. It's from Japan. You can get it on Amazon. Um, it can take a while to ship though. And what I did is I actually added some water and a little bit of that ink to the cap. I don't normally like working with water in Binary Star. I don't know. I'm not into like ink washes and stuff. But this is like a rare exception. So I take a brush I don't care about, and I've got some of the water and the ink on there. And you can kind of see I already did a little bit of this over here. See how everything looks a little like frosty? That's how I do that. I take my water and my white ink, do a couple little test lines here, and I go back over the line art that I already did. And as you can see, it's almost like glazing a cinnamon roll or something. Um, it creates this like false frosty look, and I'll go outside the lines a little here to like kind of add an extra like chill to everything. This technique, you have to be a little careful with it. I gave my ink, the black ink, a full 24 hours to dry, because if you don't, there's a very strong chance of it starting to smudge a little. Like even with like waterproof ink, it doesn't matter. And you can see even here, there's like sometimes a little bit of gray kind of smudges around it, which is also why I'm not like going over certain areas over and over. I'm like, you gotta respect the water. Don't tempt fate. Mess with it as little as possible, or you're gonna get a lot of sad gray smudgies. Which is also why if there's an area I need to go over again, I'm also gonna give it like a minute. Because one thing you might notice is when this goes down initially, it looks like it goes down and covers like everything I just did, and it's like, no, why would you do that? But you might notice it's getting dark over here again. The black lines are showing through pretty strong, and so that's why I end up actually having to go back over a lot of these areas to make them look even frostier, because the white just kind of fades away. But it's good because then you can use that to like emphasize certain areas, make them look even colder and more chilly. Now, when I do this technique, first of all, yes, I will go back in when everything is dry and add the starry splatter effects, both for the sky, but also just, to make it look like there's snow everywhere. But another thing I do is I do go back in when this is all done, and well, first of all, I'll correct areas where some of this frost got in places I didn't want, but also I will emphasize this chilliness in Photoshop, just with some kind of blurry gradient effects and things like that. So I used to just do this only in Photoshop. I would just put the snowy effect on top of everything, and then I would just scan it immediately and digitally add frost effects. But it always looked a little fake, I thought. It was pretty obvious it was Photoshop. So then I started switching into just doing this technique but when I would scan it, it was like, no, it looks like it still needs some Photoshop. So I do a combo of the two. I just don't think one or the other is quite enough. Now also, on top of frosting the scenery, also I just really like saying frosting, maybe I'm hungry. Certain things that these people are wearing, I also like to look chilly. So, for example, this necklace here on the Snow Queen, I want that to look frosted. And also her sleeves, because I think these are kind of like a sheer, icy looking material, like a silken, cold something or other. I just think it just looks cooler. No pun intended. But yeah, so you can see how a lot of these areas I did already are starting to kind of ungray themselves just a little bit. So part of that could just be I didn't have enough white ink mixed into the water, but this also just always happens. So that's why in some areas I will go back over some of this when I think it's dried a little, and you know, because now some of these areas are like a little whiter, it's great because now I can like kind of fake an extra chill effect, because you know, things don't frost evenly. It looks more realistic, I think, if the frost is a little imperfect. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, you want to like don't go back over areas until a minute or two has passed, or else you're gonna start getting some very bad smudges. And always double check that the ink you're using is waterproof, because some of them aren't, and you're gonna mess up your work real fast, and you're gonna be real upset. Some of this jewelry here. I also use this as a breath effect with them sometimes. These are snow people, but they're also mammals. So you can like kind of frost the area around their face, kind of make it look like they've got frosty ice breath. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how I do that. This technique, it's definitely one of the weirder things I do, especially since, like I said, I don't actually like working with water. But I think it turns out kind of cool, especially when combined with a little bit of Photoshop tweaking. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Go try it for yourselves. You know, maybe you'll find a new use for it that I haven't thought of yet. So see you guys. Hopefully this page will be up soon.